Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my weekly Node-RED development live stream. Here every Monday evening for an hour or so of some Node-RED development work. Whether it's bug fixes, new features, exploring different parts of the code base, who knows? And often I don't until I sit down and try and decide what I'm going to be streaming. But I've got a plan for tonight. I'm sure you'll be relieved to hear. You can see in the description we want to have a look at some pretty old code, actually, at the heart of the Node-RED editor. There's the code that deals with drawing the view, the flow itself, and all the interactions in the editor is a bit of a mammoth file. I'm sure many of you have seen me. Well, we've delved into that code before, and no doubt we'll delve into it again in future streams, but there's a bit of it that, there's a bit of behaviour that I stumble over more and more recently, that I thought it'd be fun to have a little play with improving, but well aware this is touching code that's been there since, well, I won't say day one, but it has been there since the very start of the code that turned into what the editor is. So it's going to be an opportunity to do a bit of tidy up, bit of, well, anyway, it'll be a chance to do something interesting and hopefully improve some stuff. So as you can see in the description, it's about selecting multiple links in the editor. So yeah, I'm going to crack straight on. So if I switch over here and you can see the chat, all lovely people, great to see you all. Do say hi if this is your first stream. Do leave a comment if you're on YouTube watching it. Yeah, great to see you. And as ever, I hope you can all spot my mistakes in near real time. So what are we talking about? I've said it's about selecting multiple links. So I'm sure you'll be familiar with the editor, that you can currently select multiple nodes by pressing and holding the control key when you click and you get multiple nodes selected. Wires, however, don't behave in the same way. With the links or the wires, you can only have one selected at any one time. Another difference is with the lasso select, when you click and drag and select lots of things, it only selects nodes, it doesn't select wires. So yeah, the links aren't lasso selectable. I'm not proposing to change that bit of behaviour at the moment, but what I am proposing to look at is, as I said, you can control click on a node and click on other nodes to select them. If you select a wire and then control click on another wire, it does a couple things. For one, it opens up the quick add dialog, which is triggered by control click in the workspace. But you would have seen in the background when I did that, it has actually changed the selection. So even if all this talk about adding support for selecting multiple wires doesn't pay off, at the very least, I need to add a bit of event handling. So if you control click on a wire, it just selects the wire and it doesn't open up the quick add dialog, which, yeah, is a bit of a drag. That said, yeah, okay. So having said that, there is actually a bit of functionality there. Control clicking on the wire to bring up the quick add dialog means the node you add gets spliced straight onto that wire. So, yeah. Oh man, are we now getting into the realm of... See, I've rushed into this thinking, yeah, we just need to add some event handling, forgetting actually there is a purpose to the control click on a wire. Regardless, I'm going to... I still want to explore being able to support selecting multiple wires. I think it is useful to be able to do, even if it's shift select, which at the moment does nothing. although then that is slightly different to selecting multiple nodes, but not to worry. Not to worry. We'll resolve some of these inconsistencies later. For now, let's just delve into the code and at least make the code capable of having multiple wires selected. So we are working on, to answer the chat, we are working on the ability to select multiple wires rather than just the single wire that you can do today. So we delve into the behemoth of a file that is view.js, which, despite multiple bits of work to pull functionality out of this file, is still over 5,000 lines long. So yeah, this is one of those files that needs a healthy refactoring, just for my own sanity as much as anything. But a lot of the low-hanging fruit has already been plucked for doing that. So anyway, but we're not here to, I'm not worried about refactoring to make the file smaller today. What I'm interested in is this guy, selected link. And here's a little tip for you. Any of these variables, pretty much, which have the underscore separator rather than camel case, this really dates them. This is going back super old code. But selected link, if we just search for it, you can see we've got 54 results. So potentially 54 places we need to think about what we're doing. Now, you'll be glad to hear, before I started streaming, I had a quick scan through those 54, and it's not as intimidating as it sounds. And, well, at first glance, it's not as intimidating as it sounds. So what I'm going to do first, perhaps, is rather than trying to reinvent a wheel, I'm just scanning through the code here. I'm just trying to find how we know what nodes are selected. So in here, there is a function called getSelection. Oh, that's right. Yep. So getSelection is what you can call to find out what is selected. And inside this file, there is a local structure. It's a custom object called moving set. And moving set is a collection of all the nodes or groups that are currently selected. And it's called moving set because it's the set of things that need to move. And you can see, yeah, for the get selection, it basically works out everything that's selected, yada, yada, yada. And then down here, it does selected link, then, yeah, selected link's not null, then it adds a .link property to the selection. Now, I see rabbit holes. So, although I've done a quick pass through to see about how selected link is used inside this one file, and I'm absolutely confident we can change that to be an array of, or a set of links, so we can support multiple. Something we do need to have a look at is the fact that this getSelection function is exposed. It's part of the editor public API. What was it? red.view.selection. So you can see that's returned an empty thing. If I select that link and call it, you can now see it has returned this link object. What we ought to do is just have a quick look at where do we call that public API inside the editor. Oh, and you don't run it in that Sorry. Oh, that's okay. Okay, so it does turn up in a few places. So what I'm quickly looking for is doing a super quick scan. In fact, that's completely redundant. Cool, but I'm not going to get distracted by that now. We are scanning through selection. I'm looking for any of these references which go on to then use selection.link. And to be honest with you, I don't think we have anything like that, because in almost all cases, in fact, there, selection.links, I mean, here we have code that's looking for a property that never will exist. Well, yeah. I say just continue just to scan through. Because as long as we're happy that if we change the semantics over links isn't going to break any of this code, then we're golden. And like I said, I'm pretty confident that everywhere where we care about what's selected, it tends to be we care more about the nodes that are selected. But you will bear with me a sec as I just scan through. Yeah, I'm not finding anything yet. And the more I look at this, sort of the warmer feeling I get, because I can... it's coming back to me, shall we say. Oh. Yep. Scan through all those. Selection. Yeah, we're golden. We can. And again, another reference to .links, which doesn't exist currently. All right, we're good. I've managed to successfully close the file I was wanting to spend time in. So what does all that mean? That means I think we're okay just to go ahead and work out how can we make, if I can find it now, here, selected link to be an array or a set of links. Now that's always an interesting question. What is the right data structure? Should it be an array? Should it be a set? Should it be a map? Or anything, or an object, or anything else in between? So we have to keep in mind a few different things. There's for the majority of cases, there's only a single link selected. So, well, there's that. There is I had another point, but then the first time chat, someone chatting ping theme completely distracted me. Right, order. That was the next one. The problem with a set and a hash map is they aren't ordered, and actually it's often useful to have a known order of the links. What's your code theme? What in my editor? I've no. Well, let's go find out. Theme one light is my code theme. If that's what you're talking about in Atom. Which I may have I tweaked? Yeah, I've tweaked a bit around highlighting regions. I forget why. I think, yeah, when I double click on a word and it highlights multiple, I tweaked that to make it more legible. Anyway, stay on target. Selected link. We are going to, for now, make it an array, and we'll see how we get on. So call me inspired, but rather than just try and change selected link, we're going to add in selected links. In fact, okay, if I were to do that, now when I search for selected link, it's going to find selected that one as well, which will just grind my gears. So we're going to call it selected links using the preferred variable syntax. And now we just have to do a slightly laborious step through and figure out what we want to do. And each place where selected link, we manipulate selected link somehow. So canvas mouse down. So this is the mouse event when someone clicks on the canvas. And if you note here, I've selected that link. If I click on the canvas, it deselects the wire. That works because of this logic here. I haven't clicked on a node, a link, or a group, so I deselect any links that are selected. So in parallel to this, I'm going to say selected links. For now, I'm just going to set it to an empty array. There may be a bit more logic we want to do around that, but we'll get to it. Then we've got the next hit is here, and where are we? Just what function are we in? Canvas mouse move. So the mouse has moved. We're not doing the quick join. We're not dragging some nodes. We didn't mouse down on a node. We didn't mouse down on a group, and the selected link is null. Okay, well, I can't immediately. I think that's just a bit of belt and braces. I can't immediately picture what scenario having that check is there, but I'm not going to waste time trying to figure that out. I'm just going to add the equivalent check on our new selected links array. Right, now we're getting into somewhere a bit more interesting. Where are we? We are in, we're still in canvas mouse move, and we are joining, or we're quick joining. So what does that mean? Joining or quick joining means we're doing this. Okay, so we're dragging. Well, joining is this, as in we're dragging the mouse. Quick join looks the same on the screencast, but what you can't see is this is where I've got the control key. I pressed and held the control key, and I've just clicked on that node. Now my hand is off the mouse. Oh, I'm not holding the mouse button. I think that's quick join mode. Anyway, so let's update the drag line as we move the mouse. Oh, and this is to do with detaching. Okay, so this is when, if you've got a wire selected and you press and hold the shift key and you drag off this port, it actually detaches that wire and allows you to drop it somewhere else. And the reason it does that check is, see, if I've got two wires, neither is selected, and I do it, it detaches them both. Whereas if I've got one of those wires selected and I do it, it only detaches the selected one. So here we have the bit of logic just working out, okay, what are the links we need to detach? And at the moment, it's saying, well, okay, selected link is sent. Selected link is set. So we have got a selected node. It then compares the nodes on either end of that selected link to see should that link be one we're detaching, and stick it into this existing links array. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly rewrite that. Selected links.length is greater than 0. So we have something selected. Then we're going to iterate over selected links. Then just going to copy this logic. If this is where do I have brackets lining up? That should, no. Yeah, that does match. And then for each of these, run select link, we link, and then here we want existing links dot push link, and then we can get rid of this case because we don't care about selected link anymore. Okay, we've migrated that bit of code. Let's go find. Still got 49 more to do. So here we come down. Setting selected link. Okay, I'm just going to follow. Wherever we set selected link to null, we set our array of them to the empty array. Basically deselect them. Ooh. So much so I'm going to put that in my paste buffer because I suspect we'll have a few of these to do. Sure enough, yep, clear selection. Okay, here we've got some logic. This is where it does get a little bit more hairy. I am going to skip this case for the moment. I'm going to add a to-do there. This is to do with the link nodes and the virtual wires between tabs, which could be something that trips up what we're trying to do tonight, but I'm not going to get tripped up by it now. I'm going to get things working for normal links, and then we'll see what we can do about link node links. And as you can see, there's lots of selected link references in that little block. Where are we at? Okay. So now we'll jump down here, and what function are we in? We're in delete selection. Okay. So we want selected links.length is greater than 0. Then there must be, here we are. In fact, at this point, rather than trying to maintain both in parallel, I'm going to, just bear with me a moment. Yeah. So there is some logic here to do with virtual links. That's what this .link property is. But we're going to tackle this one straight up. We're going to say if selected links.length is greater than 0. Then, as we did before, we want to do selected links. One sec. What do we do in that history event? Ooh, okay. Yeah, we're going to have to do some more work around history events because that's what we're going to have to do. So in fact, at this point, I'm going to pinch that. And pinching that. I think that's the two complete sections of this if statement. just with a missing if here. So now we're going to iterate over all of the selected links. Not that we have any yet, but all of them. And now I just have to go through and update all these. Because when we delete the virtual links between link nodes, we've actually got to update the link nodes links properties to well, make sure their references are correct. Yeah. Oh, okay. No, this has got slightly more complicated. I think I've dived in a bit too quickly on this one. If you've got, I'm just going to deploy that because we're going to want one of these links lying around. Right. No, we're okay. I do need to slightly change some logic here. So delete there. Sorry about this. The history event is just melting my brain slightly because we've got two different types of history event. We've got a delete history event because we've deleted stuff, but we also need to have these edit events if you've deleted a virtual link between link nodes because we've implicitly edited those link nodes. How are we going to do this? We are going to push it down there. Sorry, I'm muttering to myself now just as I... Okay, we're good. We're going to change that to history events, and that's going to be an array. Then we are going to push into our history events. When we delete a link wire, we'll push the history event for that into our history events array. Then I'm just going to collapse that down. Oh no, I'm not. Confuse me. Then we don't need that, and I think main challenge I've got now is just matching up brackets. One sec. What have I matched? Yes, that's, and then that's that. Okay. So now we're saying if we've got any selected links, we'll iterate over them. If it's a virtual link, we'll do the work and push into this array of history events the undo event for that delete. Otherwise, if it's a regular, let me just check that bracket matches. Yep. If it's a regular wire, then we will just remove that link and we push into this array of removed links that link. Okay. Then we get down here. So at this point, we've done... I would feel better if I could... No, this is right. So we've done all that work. We now want to yep. Right, so we've now done all that work. We now need, what do we need to do? We are going to generate the history event for deleting stuff. And that's all good. Then this guy, we're going to say link remove history events, just to try and keep it straight. So then down here we're saying if the link remove history events dot length is greater than 0, so we've actually done some history events, then we've actually got to do something here, and I'll tidy that up in a sec. Else, if we don't have any of the link remove history events, then we can just stick the history, this master history event onto history. But if we do have them, what we're going to do is we're actually going to push on a multi-event, which is a single history event that wraps up multiple history events. The clue is very much in the name. And those events are the link remove history events. But what we're going to do is link remove history events dot unshift history event. So that'll stick it at the front of the array. It'll stick that event in the front of the array, and then that should all work. I mean, yeah. If that works, I'll be impressed with. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that all works. So, anyway, let's crack on. Where are we now? We've jumped again. We are in port mouse up. So the user has released the mouse whilst hovering over a node or a port. And we're in quick join mode here. Yeah, so throughout this file you'll see all these comparisons on red.state and mouse mode. So this tries to keep track of what's the user currently doing, what sort of interaction is the user in the middle of. So we've got it's sort of a mini sort of state machine type of thing. Well, no, you can't even call it state machine. It's just a list of states. There is no, yeah. But it helps us keep straight what you can and can't do at different times. So we're in quick join mode. We are, what's select link? You know what, I think, no. What is select link? Select link starts off null there and it gets set here. You see, look, we're on link nodes again, I think. Yeah. We're dealing with a virtual link, which is the virtual wire between link nodes. We are yeah. Right, so I think what this is, if I just go in and delete that wire, when I drag a wire between these two, the wire gets added, but it's not selected. If I drag a wire between these two, oh, same deal. Okay, scratch that thought. What? I thought this was related to that. Oh no, but it's quick add mode. It is it? So if I quick add, so I've got the control key pressed, I click on that port, I click on this node. No. Okay, try again. So I've got this node selected, so it shows its virtual port. I control click on that port. I'm now in quick add mode. I now click on this node to do the quick add, and now it moves on. Is that quick add? The trouble is because I'm kind of committed. I've now started making changes to this file, which means I can't. I'm kind of fully committed. I'm going to come back to this case. I'm going to come back to that one in a minute. I'm just going to go through and tidy up. I think there's a bunch of other scenarios to take care of before we worry about some of those. So link mouse down. So this is the user has clicked on a wire. And in fact, here is that very logic of if I've got the meta key or the control key, so command or control, and you click on a wire, it explicitly pulls up the quick add dialog. So that's not an accident. There's very explicit code doing that. So yeah, maybe a bit of rethink about that. Old Bobby tables, control click, but said earlier, control click, but only show menu if only one wire is currently selected. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. So let's figure this through. Well, you can see here clear selection, and clear selection will wipe out the existing selection, which isn't ideal, because we want to preserve that selection if we're trying to add to it. But we do need to call clear selection if we haven't got the control key pressed. So, equally though, what would be the behavior? So I've got a node selected and then I control click on a wire. At the moment, I'm not suggesting we're going to be able to cross the streams of having both nodes and links selected at the same time. That could happen. We could get there, but I'm not going to cross those streams right now. So if you've moused down on a link, I just need to go see what update selection is doing. So we need to come back to line 3365 in a minute. Let's just, before I do something that I regret. Haha. Yes, thanks Bobby Tables, very helpful. Right. Yeah, so we've already passed through here and we already have a to-do to do something. So that's right, we've already passed through it, so we've done the easy stuff on that one. Okay. Ooh, is the indentation slightly off? Yes. Clear selection. Do we want to clear selection? Well, we only want to clear selection if if not d3.event.meta key, as in, so on a Mac keyboard, that's the command key, and not d3.event.control key. So we'll clear selection if we're not pressing the meta key, we're not pressing control key, and not and, or so we, oh no, that's right, write it out in English first. Right, clear selection if clear the selection if selected links dot length is 0, which implicitly means we might have something that's not a link selected, so we need to clear it, or not pressing command/control. Okay, I'm going to go with that. So if selected links.length is 0, or not of those two. Yep. So then we can say selected links.push mouse down link. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of selected. Yeah, it's getting near to the point where it's going to be a bit confusing. Then down here, if selected links.length equals 1, and you've got either of the meta control key pressed, that's where we do the splice, and then rather than use selected link, we use mouse down link. Cool. That's pretty solid logic for that, I think. Carry on down. Link touch start. Okay. Yeah, this is actually well, yeah. So this is touch handling. I'm going to cheat. Is it a cheat? No. I'm just going to say, well, if you're on a touch screen, then you haven't got a command or control key to press to select multiple. Now, I'm sure some of you are going to tell me about touchscreen tablets that you could do that on, and fine, I will fix the bug when someone raises it, but yeah. Right, we're down to 24, these references. So touch menu again. We will only offer the delete option. No, sorry, the delete option. So I don't know if you've seen it on a touch screen. If you press and hold on the screen, it pops up a little radial menu with these options: delete, cut, copy, paste. And this will disable the delete option if you've got nothing, no node selected, and selected links dot length is not simple as. Right. Okay, here we go. Here we're now in the meat of the drawing code. So this gets called every time we refresh the UI or refresh the view. iterates over all the links we can currently see, and if it's freshly added or it's selected. So this is this is okay. I'm going to write a bit of code that will not be here when I merge this. Yeah, we can't have this in the production code. What this is doing is it iterates over every link, and if for every link, if you've got like 3 or 4 links selected, it has to search that array for every link, then that is a huge waste of work. Now I'm doing it just for now because I don't want to get, because the way to fix it is we'll add, and you can already see it's hinted at here, links can have a selected property, but I don't yet have the confidence, because if that's all it would take, then we wouldn't have had this check that I've just removed. So the right answer will be understand better about this selected property that this seems to suggest links can have, and everywhere where we set selected links to an empty array, we're going to have to add some code that rather than just set it to an empty array, we'll have to iterate over the stuff and unset their selected flags over the current selection. One thing at a time. Right. Selected links. Yeah. So, in fact, we'll definitely need to do this. Not to mention that I don't think, well, yeah. See, just to make matters worse, we're now going to be doing that iteration twice for every link. Oh, shudder. This is where we get the selection. Yeah. Need to, again, some more tidy up to do. So this is inside the function, the red.view.selection, the thing we looked at right at the beginning. I don't want to be exposing this selected links array as the raw reference like that. So we'll want to take a snapshot of that array rather than, we'll need to take a snapshot of that array rather than pass it through as is. So we'll come back to that. And again, and we've wrapped. Okay, so curiously we've wrapped, but we still have 21 references. So what I'm going to be a bit more ruthless now. This is the second pass. The goal with this pass is to delete any mention of selected link. So selected link, but you can see immediately below it's one of our new lines. Selected link, get rid of that because there's our new bit. Don't delete the whole line of code. Selected link. Another selected link. Select links all the way down. Right, we have this one to deal with. Again, this is line 2057. We'll come back. We will come back. Just want to make sure. Let's just get all these rogue individual references removed. Oh, there's this select link, which So it's to do with virtual links. You can see my historic me with all the documentation that I added to the code as I went. Really paying me no favours. Right. Now the trick here is we just stick some debug in. So if in our testing in a minute we happen to cross those, and if something doesn't work as we might think, then well, hopefully we'll get some debug to see the scenario we've just hit. You know what? And just for fun, I'm going to keep link on this object, and we'll set it to the first one because, again, for the majority case, there will only be one link. So that at least keeps the externals consistent, in case there's something that cares about single links, and they'll still work on the single link. News from you. Don't want to break your focus, no worries. I had a Docker question if you have any tips. Ooh, okay. I had an issue with my Node-RED via Docker, so I deleted no modules and then planned to reinstall with npm install, but now the container won't even start up, so I can't run npm install. How do I get around this? So I guess it depends how you were running the Docker stuff, whether you had mounted data volume on /data with your node modules in. That would be where I'd start. I have to admit I don't use the Docker stuff a lot. I normally go bug Ben Hardill on Slack for a help. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, so it will depend how you've mounted your data volume, if you've mounted a data volume, and exactly what you've deleted and where you've deleted it from. Yeah. Right, what on earth is going on with this code? Let me see if I can just rationalize it. Where are we? Update selection. Active flow links. Active flow links. What are active flow links? I hear none of you saying. Active flow links are links that look like this. If I just tick him there. Right. That is an active flow link. It's take me back. No. What's our keyboard shortcut for going forward and back in browse in tab history? Anyone? Ugh. So at this point, another feature for one day would be to have some indicator as to which flows have got changes on. Wouldn't that be handy? Here we are. So active in this code, when it's updating the selection, this wire here for this link node going to this virtual node on a different flow, those are, I believe, what all of this code is trying to find. Oh, and then here we've got active flow links length is 0. Oh, okay. And what on earth are we using active links for? Active Oh, okay. You know what? It's a bit drastic, but I'm going to comment that out. I'm commenting it out because I can't quite wrap my head around what that's doing. And rather than comment it out, I'm going to comment that out. And I'm going to add a variation of it. With our active links. See here, it's looking for virtual wires and super lazy, but line 258 wanted to do something with active links. So again, a bit of debug. It'll help us narrow down what's this scenario that I'm almost chickening out of trying to migrate at the moment. Right. So a few more things just to tidy up. I need to comment that out. Right. I think that's enough. I think that's enough. That's enough of the changes to give this a go now. So I'm just tentatively just clicking around. I'm not pressing Control, which would be the multi-select. And if I hit delete, the wire's gone, and I Control Z, and the link comes back. If I delete the node and Control Z, and the link comes back. Good, good. Delete both those, Control Z, and both links come back. Good. So, we've not broken anything obvious yet. There's still time. Right, so now I've just clicked on that wire to select it. I now Control click on this wire, and we have 2 wires selected. Oh, I click on a third, now we have 3 selected. Awesome. Well, that's new. Right, so let's try this. Let's call view.selection.links, see what it is. Well, sure enough, we've got three wires that are selected. If I now say click on this node, notice how all those wires are no longer selected, and red.view.selection links is undefined. That's good. So we're tidying up the selection. If I control click, so I've got the control key down or the command key, I can select multiple nodes. If I now select that wire, it's done the right thing. It has deselected the nodes, it's selected that one wire, and because one wire is selected, it's popped up the quick add dialog. If I control click on that wire, nothing happens. Okay. Just check the behavior. If I control click on a node, it toggles its selection. So that's some functionality we need to add. Toggling. But if I click on that wire, then control click on another and another, all good. And I can control click on this wire and it doesn't do anything. Although I've clicked on it lots of times. I've clicked on it lots of times. And now it thinks I've got 16 links selected. And look, if I control click on it a few more times, I've now got 21 things selected. We have a bug. So when you control click on a wire, we need to not just blindly add it to the selection, we need to toggle if it's in the selection or not. And that's when you think, an array, a set would be better because an object can only be in a set once. And then you end up in all the trade-offs of the different data structures. What is the pattern of access you need to optimize? What is the most common way? And I think, on the whole, iterating over them is the type of access that needs to be optimized. So, but to be fair, iterating over the contents of a set, the browsers all optimize these things. It'd be, anyway, yeah, it's a bug. We'll go and address that in a moment. What I'm really keen to see is, so I control click and I've selected 2 wires. I now hit the delete key. Wish us luck. Both wires have disappeared. And if I hit Control Z, both wires come back. As if by magic. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So if we ignore link nodes and the virtual wires with these cases I'm ignoring, we're doing good. We are doing good. What we need to look at is the link mouse down function. Right. So there were a couple of things that we needed to care about. Let me just think this through. Right. If we've got one of the meta keys pressed, then for link index, what we want to do is see whether the link we've just clicked on is already in our selection or not. If it's not in the array, then we can just do this push. Else, we need to remove it from the array. So we do selected links.splice link index 1. Is that right? Yes. Yep. So that will remove, this should now toggle the selection. So there's the link selected. If I control click on it, okay, let's add a few. But now when I keeping down control and I click, you can see it's toggling in the selection. And there, I only have 2, and let's just check what selection.links only has 2. And we add it in, add in the third, and it's got 3. Cool, so that's now working. But I think there is still a bit of odd behavior. What is it odd? I don't know. If I just, without it selected, if I control click on that wire, it selects it and it brings up the quick add, so it will get spliced into place. Okay. If I control click on that wire now with it selected, it actually deselects it. which I guess the question is it okay that the quick add only kicks in if the node isn't, if the wire isn't selected when you control click on it? Or is the user more likely to, sort of select the wire, think, okay, I need to add a node, so I control click on it now, but by doing that, it deselects it. You know what? I think what do I think? I think if you're control clicking it and it's the only wire, we should pop up the quick add dialog, I think. So what's the logic for that? So we want to be in this if statement if we're in here, we've control clicked on something that is already selected, and we will only toggle it if it's not the only one in the selection, otherwise it will open up the quick add dialog. So it should now mean I select it, I then control click on it, and it does the quick add, or does the quick add. But if I click on a second one, okay, yeah, that's another case to consider. If I select 3, this last one I can now toggle freely. If I go down to 2, and now as soon as I toggle this one, if I click on it now, quick add has appeared. And why is that? Well, it's come in here, it's toggled, we've got the control key, so we've come into this if block. We've clicked on something that's already selected, so we come down here. Our selected links.length is greater than 1. We had 2 of them selected, so it gets spliced. So we've removed the link. It then comes down here and says, oh, you've only got 1 selected and you've control clicked. Therefore, we should show the quick add. Well, that's not right. So we've got 2 ways of going about fixing that. We either just add a Boolean flag that says we've toggled the state, so don't do this guy down here. Why not? Let's just do that. Quick add primed, then we're going to say quick add primed is true because you've clicked on a wire with those guys. We will disable it if sorry, just thinking it through. No, that's not what we wanted to say. Let's get the logic right. We'll do it down here. Basically, well, I've just added a check that not only have we got exactly one thing in selected links, but the one we've got is the one we've actually just clicked on. So that should fix this scenario where we control click to disable. Yeah, so we control click to deselect that link, but then because the one that's left isn't the one we've clicked on, it won't show the quick add dialog. Yeah. Cool. So well, we've got links working. That's nice. Now there's a case of we had those various to-dos. So can we provoke those to-dos somehow? Now, unfortunately, there's rather a lot of to-dos in this file, but let's try and narrow down. So there was stuff around quick add mode when we are, what function are we in? Port mouse up. Okay, so if I drag between this one to this one, there, wanted to set selected link. But notice how it's got a null there. So this select link, whatever it was, is null. So the fact it's null there means it's not interesting. It's saying it wanted to select selected link to null. Here's an interesting scenario. If I select that wire and then add a wire, yeah, that's okay. So as soon as I clicked on this port, in fact, no, as soon as I started dragging, it's cleared the selection. So let's select a few wires and see what happens when I, up here, click and drag. Yeah, it deselects all those wires. That's all hunky-dory. Let's... Ooh. There's an error. Look. Wanted to do something with active links. We've provoked it. Wanted to do something with active links, and then we've got a stack trace. What did I do? What did I do to cause that? Right, I selected a link node to show its virtual link. I'm now going to click on that virtual link and boom. Okay. Let's go find that. Line 2058. Active links, push selected link. We're forcing a redraw. I think it would help if I knew what active links is actually used for. So, excuse me whilst I just... Okay, active links are the links in the current workspace. Nothing beyond that. So, what function are we in? Update selection. Active links are the links in the current workspace. So by doing this, right, update selection. Okay, it's coming to me ever so slowly. It's coming. Active links are the links that need drawing. And update selection, whenever this gets called, active links gets reinitialized. And it starts off by saying, basically give me all the links for that both their source and target nodes are on the current workspace, which seems very reasonable. These are all the links in the current workspace. But then it does some more work. It does a whole bunch more work to do with link nodes, because it needs to try and find it needs to add these virtual links to the mix. So it does that by, it looks at all the selected nodes, and remember, moving set is our selection, is the array, or it's an object containing all of the selected nodes. And if you've got a link node of either type selected, because as you know, it doesn't draw these virtual links unless you've got one of the link nodes selected. So if you have one of those link nodes selected, what this does is iterates over all their links, works out, is this a virtual link? And that's what this link property is. That's the magic flag that distinguishes between these solid lines and the dashed lines. Active links, so it adds them to the active links array. Yeah. Whole load of work around that. Then active flow links. So we haven't got any active flow links. What is an active flow link? That's the bit as I said, they are off link. They're links to a different flow. Yeah. So this is saying we haven't got any links to other flows, and our selected link is not null, and we've got a virtual link selected. Okay, but then curiously down here you can see we get this uncaught type error, which is coming out of this stringify. And what this is doing is, this is how it keeps track if you change selection. Oh, right, yep. Yes, this is stringifying our selection object. And if you remember, we've added this new links property. So this needs some special code to tell it how to stringify that. How are we doing that? We're going to key.links.map function link. So for each link, we're going to return essentially that. In fact, it's value.links.map and key equals links value.links. Yeah, sorry, I've got a little confused about what we're looking at there. So I'm actually going to leave that commented out up there. Let's have a look. Oops, I accidentally switched flow. Flow 1, right. So if I select this node, and if I select that wire, it disappears. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I've got it. I've got it. Right. These virtual links are only shown if one of the link nodes on either end is selected. If I click on this virtual link to select it, we clear the selection. So these two link nodes are no longer selected. And because those two link nodes are no longer selected, we no longer draw the link you've just tried to select. So what this code is doing, that's exactly it. What we need to do is say, I think. So active flow links, that's the bit I'm still not 100% clear on, but select links.length is greater than 0. Then we do our iteration. And then if you remember, we only care about virtual links. Links.push link. And this will, yes, that's what active link nodes. Right. Cool. So now I should be able to click on that. Nope, select link is not defined. There we are. Try again. So I now should be able to select, there we go. I can now select that virtual link. And if I control click over here, we're now in this really quite curious state where I've got both virtual and non-virtual links selected. If I hit, and what happens if I hit delete? Well, the wires have gone and those two nodes have now been marked as dirty because their links property has changed. Now, if I control Z, those two links have come back. Those two nodes are no longer marked dirty, and if I select one, its link has come back. The undo history has worked. And if I do the redo, control Y, those wires have disappeared. It is working. Awesome. Yeah, that's worked. So now you can, whether you want to or not, select multiple links, including virtual links, and delete them and undo. And it works even if you have a mixture of virtual and regular links. Awesome. That's worked. Right. There was these two to-dos which I wanted. I still can't quite wrap my head around what this select link is to do with. Can you select two virtual links? See, that just sounds like a challenge to me now. So now we've got, okay, technically there are 3 here. This one is a very special case which you cannot select because that's a off-flow link. So let's ignore that. Okay, I can click on that. No, you can't. You can't because when you select a virtual link, all the other virtual links disappear. Yeah. Yeah, no way to select virtual links, multiple virtual links. I will sleep soundly tonight, knowing that's there. Right now, I just want to, guess we're going for it. Yeah, I don't want to be too much later, but I do just want to crack the nut of what is the logic going on here. What do we set select link to? For some reason, in this code path, we have decided we want to select the resulting link. We are in, what function were we in here? I think we're on port up. Yeah, so we've just finished a drag. We're dragging a virtual link stick that in just to help anchor us, to make sure we know we're. So I think just deploy that useful to have. Move him out the way. Right. If I drag down to this guy, yeah. Look at our debug. So, dragged virtual link. So this is to do with wiring up link nodes. And here we say we wanted to set selected link to this link we've just created. But that's good. That is good. Why do I say that's good? It's good. It's good. Because that makes sense. It wants to select the wire you've just added. And just for our own benefit, so it's case 2, which was here. I think we can do this. Okay. Because I think in this scenario, we're never going to be adding to the selection. So we just say we only want to have this one link selected. So let's try that. So what we should end up with is by dragging this wire down here. I was really expecting for it to leave that wire selected. Cliffo, curious in Atom Editor, you have various lines with a blue dot. Yeah, this, yeah, that's a result of, I can't remember what I installed a different plugin, I think, to do some TypeScript stuff a while ago, and it added all new features such as detecting unused variables. So yeah, I'm sure there are variables littered through the code base. We haven't got linting rules that tell us off for them. And yeah, it's a chore to do, to go through and tidy those up. Just not really got round to it. But it's a very fair point you make. Kind of ought to do that. But yeah, I'm just slightly... Oh, here's why. No, here's not why. Mouse down link. Update selection. Why is that not doing what I think it should? You know, I think I need to play with that a bit more. I think I need to play with it on 214 and just get a better feel for what that logic's to do with, more than I'm going to do right now. In terms of other next steps, and I might save this for next Monday, I might not, I might just get it done. You've seen I've been, we've made selected links an array, which is okay, but there was the stuff I talked about in the no, there was, yeah, this stuff. So this is in the hot path of redrawing the view. I want to modify selected links not to be an array now, having come across this bit of code. Want to add some more logic here so that we never have to iterate selected links to test if... so we don't have to test every single link every time we redraw the view to see is it selected or not. I think I want to get to the point where we can just rely on Boolean flag being set on the links as and when they get selected or deselected. And then this code doesn't have to do all that work. Oh yeah. Typically it's going to be searching a 1 element array or a 0 element array. So am I prematurely optimizing? Maybe, but this is in such a hot path of code for the editor that my eye twitches when there's anything that for not much more work we can make more efficient. So yeah, that's something I might do before next Monday night, or we might revisit this next Monday and carry on down this seam. All of this code, all this work won't go into Node-RED until 2.2 at the end of January, so there's plenty of time to work on it in the live streams. So yeah, I might save this for next Monday to give us something of interest to look at. Or not, who knows. But we've been going for 90 minutes. It is high time to say good night. And thank you all again for joining. It's always great to see you guys. Great to have you in the chat. I hope these are interesting. This feels quite natural now, being able to select multiple links. I think it was always a bit of an oddity that you couldn't. There's still some thinking to do about whether lasso select should take into account links. Now we have the principle of being able to select multiple links. That's something to think about. And then of course there's groups. When you have a group of nodes selected, it's slightly odd that clicking on a node in a group selects the group, but clicking on the wire selects the wire. If we didn't have these minor inconsistencies, it wouldn't give you guys things to complain about. So, but it's all good. There we go. That's it tonight. Thank you all for joining. Have a great one. Do like and subscribe if you're watching YouTube. If you've slept through the last 90 minutes of video, that's awesome. Otherwise, I will be back same time, same place next Monday, 8 PM UK for another live stream. And I'm stalling because I've lost the window where I get to click the button to say goodnight. So I found it. I'm going to say goodnight. Cheers all. Bye.